Welcome to 5 Minute School, and in this video we're going to be talking about the mechanism of local anesthesia. So it's often used in cases of minor surgery to numb an area of the body, and this enables a variety of procedures to be performed without the patient feeling pain. So in order to understand how anesthesia works, we need to know how nerves transmit their signals and how pain sensations are felt. So in a nerve cell, also called a neuron, it has a membrane which has several channels to allow electrically charged molecules called ions through, and these electrically charged ions are sodium, potassium and chloride. A stimulus is what causes a nerve signal to take place, and the stimulus can either be via pain, pressure, temperature or more. In order for a nerve impulse to be generated in a neuron, there needs to be a certain threshold of electrical activity to be achieved, and the way that this electrical activity is initiated, or this threshold is reached, is via a process called depolarization. And this is where we have the balance of these electrically charged molecules inside and outside of the cell, the nerve cell, to be disrupted. Normally the outside of the neuron is positive and the inside is negative. A stimulus causes these channels in the membrane to open, resulting in sodium entering the nerve cell and potassium leaving at a ratio of 3:2, so the inside of the neuron becomes more positive. This occurs along the membrane of the neuron and passes on to adjacent neurons via dendrites. Therefore, we have the transmission of a nerve signal, also known as an action potential. So how are local anesthesias involved in nerve transmission? Well, local anesthesias reversibly inhibit the sodium channels on the membrane of a nerve cell, and this means that sodium can't move into the nerve cell, so the inside of the nerve cannot become more positive, so that means that depolarization cannot occur. This is only temporary, but the overall effect is that it prevents depolarization in the nerve cell, so it cannot transmit a nerve signal going forward. The properties of local anesthetics vary, but the fundamental principles of their mechanism is generally the same. Since local anesthetics are slightly alkaline, they don't work well in acidic environments, for example during infections and inflammation. Looking at the molecule of anesthetics, it consists of a lipophilic aromatic ring with an intermediate bond, which is either via ESTER or AMIDE linkage, and then we have a hydrophilic group on this side. The intermediate bond between the aromatic ring and the hydrophilic group determines how we classify local anesthetics. The bond can either be ESTER-based or AMIDE-based. That gives us AMIDE local anesthetics and ESTER local anesthetics. They are both metabolized differently, so AMIDEs are metabolized in the liver, whereas ESTERs are metabolized by pseudocholinesterases. The action of these pseudocholinesterases results in a breakdown of the ESTER local anesthetic to para-aminobenzoic acid, which some people may be allergic to. If they do have an allergy to this metabolite, then ESTER local anesthetics are contraindicated. Lastly, to end the video, as a general rule of thumb, you can distinguish whether a local anesthetic is an ESTER or AMIDE based just by looking at its name. Usually the AMIDE local anesthetics have an additional I in their name prior to the "-ane suffix, and the ESTER local anesthetics do not have this additional I.